You know, there's times when I think I'm not that harsh. I'm being honest. I'm being concerned. I'm showing my fucking devotion to the show. And it's not working. Cause like not only that your show sucks, your video game sucks, your toy sale sucks, your rating sucks, everything sucks, and WWE's only excuse is that they're racking up this much money, subscriber base, and more of the planet's just getting more of WWE. And they're not even going to be watching the current content. They're only doing this so they can have more accessibility on the fucking network and see how much they missed. And we opened the show up with after a bit of respect for the people who died over a public shooting in Pittsburgh. They went over, goddamn, Samoa Joe. They went over an intro. Finally, it's been years. They've never done an intro, but as soon as okay, we're going over a personal segment like we haven't done this before in openings of the show. We are finally going to have the intro for Monday Night Raw, our theme song, our intro to hype up the fans, and it sucks. We came from the first opening show where it looks like mid 90s equivalent because Raw started in 1993. Obviously, it was going to go over the times. It's 2019 and people still listen to rock music. What the fuck was this? This is something I play for my little cousins when I ride them to school, and when there's not that much on the radio, I'll let them play and use the aux for a bit. Fucking hell. This is some Disney Hot 100 shit. We came from uh, Cross the Nation shit, from that song that they had from the late, even like the ones back at the song from 2016 was a lot better than whatever the fuck this was. The song sucked. The song's for pussies. This doesn't hype anybody up. We don't need something for white people that have Down syndrome and listen and still look at Disney XD. We need people that actually are going to be hyped up, because look at the fan base. I watched a recent episode of NXT, and the biggest hype factor was Fandango coming back. Come on. And you know how many fat neckbeards, early teen, fat fuck, middle-aged cucks were in that event? I was looking for grown men, adults, some teenagers, some children wearing a bit of the merchandise. Not even kids give a fuck about your program, and you're supposed to be their heightened demographic, and no one cares. No kid wants to wear a Seth Rollins t-shirt. No kid wants to wear a Roman Reigns t-shirt because how inconsistently he changes the design. Even the mid-card isn't that fun. The funnest part for the 24/7 championship had Maria Kanellis claim she was pregnant a week before Stomping Grounds. That was June, June or July stomping ground, like early July stomping grounds, and then she just goes to a firm just so she can deliver the child. It was a funny segment, but this could have took months to develop a pregnancy so early for Maria Kanellis. I don't know if they were trying to discover if it was a boy or girl, but by God, that was the funniest segment of the night. But by God, I think that was the best part of the show. And next, Samoa Joe interrupting the show with Michael Cole saying, "Hey, we are live in Pittsburgh tonight. Samoa Joe, you can't do this. You're ruining the groove, dude. Like, we're trying to fuck up WWE right now. What the fuck are you doing?" And Samoa Joe trying to claim that people keep accusing him over the little metal beams and pillars coming and attacking, just nearly piling on some Roman Reigns on a failed attempt of maybe killing him or some dumb shit like that. And he's using it instead of like the men in the locker room. Maybe the McMahons possibly think somebody like Samoa Joe must have attacked Roman Reigns because they were beefing for the last few weeks. And it's like, these inconsistencies in storyline and projections, because Roman Reigns got hit by a car as soon as Samoa Joe tried to call him out for an apology of some sort over his attack that he had last week on SmackDown that Roman Reigns didn't even claim, even though he was perfectly fine and he couldn't ask anyone backstage. The person that should be immediately pissed off is the guy that was nearly about to be killed on SmackDown coming into an interview. What storylines are they trying to go with this? I'm trying to think. Because over my time of thinking about this, and I was shouting a lot when I was watching Raw. I was shouting a lot because there was a lot of crap that they could have done to make this show fun, or some reasons to actually watch the product, other than waiting for SummerSlam for a 5-hour bore fest of 17 matches with no storylines that have no conclusion, no satisfaction, or any matches that you know are going to happen next week on Raw. That's how it is. And over all that time, they did Andrade facing off against Rey Mysterio, and these guys feuded early 2019. Had these nice little matches on some SmackDown, and then Rey Mysterio came to Raw. What is the possibilities? They feud again because the wild card, Corey, because JBL isn't a commentator anymore for Raw. Fucking Corey, it's a wild card. It's a wild card. Oh my god, it's a wild card. They can go wherever they want. They try to do the selective process of completely burying their own brand split. This is literally Raw Super Show. And SmackDown, whatever the fuck they called it back then in the early 2010s, because they knew they were completely out of ideas. Most of their guys were getting injured, cut, or losing popularity. The brand split was completely worthless. They unified already the tag team titles from that time. Most of their guys were injured. Edge was getting injured. Most of the guys weren't getting pushed. ECW, they just shut down the water to make their own NXT. And then the rebuild of the Smarks happened. And now we are fucked. And then they came from something as brutal as Rey Mysterio's mask literally getting ripped off. And I thought, oh, okay, they're trying to Andrade trying to think he's just better luchador than Rey Mysterio because of course he had a former luchador background. He used to wear a fucking mask and dumb shit like that. And it's like, okay, this might be fun. They might have a match at SummerSlam or something because these guys have good matches. Andrade Zelina Vega is a good talker, and I'm not going to say their match wasn't good tonight. They had the best match on the show. They literally stole the show for me, especially off. He had him in an electric chair, twist him out for a Hurricane Rana outside the top. There was a baseball slide, literally face front for Rey Mysterio for a sunset flip to the barricade. I lost my shit. Rey Mysterio and Andrade know how to work with each other. The match they had on SmackDown was a bit botchy, but it was good. And this was a complete memento to how great these guys are in the ring. But if they had a storyline for this shit, I would take back most of the crap I would say that they work on something on WWE, don't produce matches, and they can't even find their own fucking identity. It's that bad. It's that bad watching Raw. Because they had no coherent storyline. They just had this match just for a reason to have a match. Because last week, Rey Mysterio's mask got ripped off. The literal soul of Rey Mysterio got ripped off. And he could have shown his identity, even though you can literally just watch Nitro on 1999. Because they literally just revealed, like, Rey Mysterio's face. Baby face. And shown how goddamn ugly as shit he looked back on Nitro. Holy fuck, Kevin Nash. Whatever. That was. I think that was the opening match of the show because of that gauntlet match that Rey Mysterio had. He got his mask ripped off by Andrade. There was also a segment involving Dolph Ziggler having a contract signing with The Miz and Shawn Michaels. Why? This isn't career altering. This isn't for a championship opportunity for the next pay-per-view. Like, what are they trying to get here? I'm gonna say it. It was a shock to see Goldberg return, but a guy like Dolph Ziggler, huh? What is this supposed to prove? What is this supposed to prove? because he's a smack talker. If Dolph Ziggler was in like the early 2010s Raw, I mean early 2000s Raw, this might have worked for a bit because he's an annoying heel and he keeps is consistently turning heel and babyface because he can't develop a character that way because he's still the show off, John. He still has the same gay, stupid, greasy hair. Can do a decent drop kick, overly use Billy Gunn's moveset, and have work rate matches with the fucking Miz. Literally, his best matches weren't with Edge because he feuded with Edge back then. He feuded with John Cena. Feuded with CM Punk for a bit. He feuded with all these great, tremendous wrestlers that you at least remember. But his best matches were with the fucking Miz, and then when we give him Goldberg, the match opener wasn't even Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. The match opener was Becky Lynch versus Becky Lynch in a tag team with Charlotte Flair against Trish Stratus and Natalya. That's a shocker match opener, even though Trish Stratus hasn't competed legitimately since Evolution of last November or October. Whatever it was, that's literally when she last competed. It was like late 2018, and then we just give her a tag team match to open Monday Night Raw, even though she's literally one of the fan favorites in who you remember on Monday Night Raw. But this was just to develop a heelish dynamic with Natalya after Charlotte just walked off from Becky Lynch. It was a boring match. I don't think Trish Stratus even got tagged in for a few moves herself. It was just Natalya. As soon as she got the sharpshooter, Becky Lynch tried to hit the ropes. Fucking, fucking Trish Stratus didn't even want to beat up and do a spot with Charlotte. Just beat her up back as soon as she tried to run out the ramp. Just do something to develop something. Like Charlotte, like this was just 2 weeks ago, like a week ago, that she even issued a challenge to Trish Stratus with no other like warning. She didn't even try to insult her when she literally came back like Raw reunion like 2 weeks ago. Develop something, man. I get that it's Charlotte and she's literally the best wrestler, literally to the best wrestler, but literally the best character, even though it's just a ripoff of her own father's. But it works. It works for generational purposes, and when you have a generational gimmick like literally Ric Flair, I don't think it's enough to fail. But thanks, she looks like a glorified WNBA she-male that can wrestle a decent 20 minutes. I think anything could work with the match ending by disqualification from Natalya going over the time limit when Becky Lynch was holding the ropes. Then Andrade defeating Rey Mysterio. Pretty good match. It ended up as Lita Vega coming with Snake Eyes from the ropes over Rey Mysterio after like a tremendous match and Andrade picking up the win. Then the 24/7 championship changed hands as soon as fucking Maria was laying down for an OBGYN. I thought I was making fun of it. I thought, oh, so they're doing an abortion clinic in a segment. Oh my god. Fucking. It ended with Mike Kanellis getting the pin, becoming a 2-time 24/7 championship, then a roll up out of nowhere. I thought the other person trying to disguise next to R-Truth was going to be fucking uh Drake Maverick. Like they were both planning to try to pin Mike Kanellis at maybe the same time or something. But it was just Carmella, so I literally tried to compare Carmella to Drake Maverick. That did not go well. And R-Truth came off a rope, like literally every roll up. Like nobody's using a weapon, nobody's hitting each other. It's fun at least. It's fun, I guess. It's fun. Fucking R-Truth becomes, what is he, 11-time 24/7 champion? Like, we're already trying to bury the hardcore championship like that didn't make or break any wrestlers. But, well, whatever, man. Next up, Viking Raiders had a match against just local talent for another squash match. Like, you guys have no character. Why do these? Even though it's just like, oh, they look sort of like Vikings. And let's not call them the War Raiders. Let's call them the Viking Raiders. Because NXT makes something a bit cool, and then we ruin it. So we're going to make the Undisputed Era, the no DQ era, and and fuck it. We hate our NXT talent. That's literally it. And then we had this backstage segment with Kurt Angle coming in with then the Street Profits because he's a Pittsburgh guy, and Street Profits come in and it's like, why don't you have these segments on NXT? Like, I'm not trying to bury the promotion NXT because they obviously did some good for certain wrestlers who try to bring them up, but they fuck up so many decent talents from the indies. It's hard to like call if this is actually a good idea to continue with this NXT crap. Because now they got Jax and Riker that used to be Gunner from Impact. They got fucking Adam Cole. He's on the NXT Championship. And fucking whatever in the fuck they're planning here, it sucks. It really does suck, man. It really does. Because now you got the Street Profits roaming around, feeling like they can hype up the show, and some skinny, scrawny ass ninja was fucking tonight with a Kurt Angle. And they're always trying to use everybody else's catchphrases, trying to think they can get themselves and each other over because they're just trying to rip each other off. It's the most corniest crap to me. I don't care if you're a big fan of the Street Profits, you think they have potential to get over. They're literally just a black Enzo Kaz, and they're a current 2010s. They're a late 2010s crime time, except they use fam and other current slang that I don't like. They're not over. They don't have that much talk in them. They don't insult any other people. They just try to run over each other, and they're not even the best part of the fucking show. It's just a 24/7 championship. And now watching the Street Profits cringily try to think they can get each other over and just continue just being backstage and try to endorse Takeover, even though people know they're gonna watch Takeover more than SummerSlam and enjoy it a bit more because Takeover actually has a decent runtime, go over start to finish, and they don't have to overly do their matches. Just think that one of 27 are going to be good. Then Drew McIntyre came like, remember when I kicked your fucking ass? Literally made you tap out of your own move. Suck my cock. Why did Baron Corbin have to retire you, not me or Cena? So we literally had that. And then it ended off, I think, no contest because Bray Wyatt came out of nowhere. And Alexander was just getting attacked behind the back from Drew McIntyre anyway, so that was just something. So, uh, Bray Wyatt just continues to attack anybody. And Finn Balor wasn't even there to stop Kurt Angle from even being attacked. Because Finn Balor's on SmackDown, even though he can literally make himself a wild card. And not allow that to happen. And they're trying to push a feud with Finn Balor all because of one attack. And he had only been attacked once. And yet they get this match on SummerSlam because it's supposed to be a big return for Bray Wyatt. Suck my dick. This doesn't do much for Bray Wyatt. He already got jobbed out so many times, it's depressing. Even if they try to repackage him as this Firefly with a different person, Firefly Funhouse Blues Clues ripoff gimmick with with a different personality, it's not gonna work because WWE's already don't know how to push guys. It's either they're gonna get it from random squash matches or back and forths with his the guy he's feuding with or the guy he associates that he's feuding with. It doesn't work out for anybody. The Firefly Funhouse are maybe gonna rip off the House of Horrors match with it. They try to make this gimmick go further, and I just don't trust WWE with trying to make a good character like Bray Wyatt and how they fucked it up the first time, and try to do it again after the last several months of us having the Firefly Funhouse bullshit. And Finn Balor just got to get it off one attack, just like how Samoa Joe just earned a WWE Championship match after he threw him through a Titantron and did nothing else. It was pointless. They kept even recapping SmackDown. Like, I thought you guys were still continuing. But there's a wild card, so we're able to intervene with SmackDown business. Yeah, I don't care. This show did nothing for me. Other than it finally had an intro to the show, it had no pyro, no excitement. We are they don't know what storylines they're going for now, and it's struggling to watch. The main event was literally Goldberg and it's awesome to see Goldberg again. But by God, there was also two other fucking tag team matches. Come on, man. There was 3 tag teams. There was a fatal 4-way tag for the women's championship. Thanks, no one cares about it. And we have a few days until the pay-per-view. And then we had the OC's the OC's pinning fucking, I think it was Biggie Langston. Luke Gallows pinning Biggie Langston against Ricochet in the New Day. Because somehow Kofi Kingston is not associated with the New Day. So, whatever. It was just a reason for Ricochet to be involved because he's facing off against AJ Styles, guys, and we need to bring some heat because they're in momentum because the OCs were tag team champions. So, whatever, I guess. And this was a match. It was unwatchable for me. And goddamn, they had some decent moves with the Magic Killer and stuff like that. Xavier Woods got pinned. Ricochet obviously does what he does best, jump good, like in Samurai Jack, and fucking try to do something like Japanese-esque because Luke Gallows wore face paint like he did back when he was part of the Bullet Club. And they were trying to use a bit more stiffer moves, but this match wasn't much for me. Next was the 8 women tag match, and it had Kairi Sane and Asuka facing off against the Iconics, Fire to Desire, that's Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross that obviously don't have their own legitimate tag team name. I would say the Kabuki Warriors, but I'd rather not destroy another brain cell. And this match sucked. The Iconics that have been jobbed out to nearly any other major tag team and literally regained their other tag team title opportunity via countout and been beating jobbers more consistently like they are a legitimate, non-existent women's tag division, is to get eliminated the first time, even though they were packing the most offense when they were on the ring. And then it would start diminishing by Corey Graves fucking jinxing the Fire to Desire. And then Mandy Rose got pinned next off Asuka, or I think it was Kairi Sane, trying to insult Alexa Bliss's height was Kairi Sane. Then I think it was off a distraction. Then Alexa Bliss got the win. Now Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are tag team champions for already the most irrelevant championship in the company, and it's only existed since Elimination Chamber. This is already a bad show. Not only nobody cared about the title match because they can't have it at SummerSlam because they already have like a 10, 11. They did this feud altercation with who's attacking Roman Reigns, who's doing this out of nowhere, and no one cares. No one cares. Because he keeps coming around like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, don't you think it's a bit of a pattern if someone attacked you and attacked you again the next week? Roman Reigns is not building up any badass factors here that people keep saying. Then Rey Mysterio feud would almost have a good match, but no storyline, even though these guys feuded before. And it's not over jealousy, honor, literally the entire history of Luchador that's more prestigious than WWE. There was literally a company that honors the Luchador for hundreds of years, that for more decades than WWE. Well, what's going on here? Why you can't make storylines in your major pay-per-view of the year? That's like your third major pay-per-view next to Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble, and the WrestleMania, and you guys can't develop any storylines. You take it like there was no good storylines in SummerSlam, ever. You know how Nexus were completely underdeveloped? You understand why they existed. Edge and The Undertaker. Sometimes Randy Orton and John Cena. Just, by God. Chavo and Rey Mysterio. It's just like, come on, man. Is it that hard? You have 17 writers and not one of them can think of a brilliant idea that can catch fans to continue watching your product. And you see why you faggots are only at 2s and 1s right now? Don't you think that's a terrible pattern for a primetime television program? I'm just saying this because I'm concerned. This show gets 3 out of 10. Other than the intro for the show, them with a great highlight package of Harley Race, thanks he recently passed. God bless him. As much as I did not see Harley Race in his prime, he's done enough for the wrestling company and built up one of the most iconic 10 pounds of gold you're ever going to see. So that's a lot for Harley Race and why he's in the Hall of Fame to begin with, so you can't disrespect that. Fucking, what the fuck was the show? You had a women's tag team championship, thanks none of these women can sell, have interesting motifs. You literally made the Kabuki Warriors because you had 2 popular Asians on your team. The Iconics can't wrestle for shit other than the first opening start of the show. I don't know why fucking Fire to Desire exists at all when they were the only person issued a tag team opportunity. And yet, Alexa Bliss, what's this? Instead of a tournament? Instead of a #1 contenders match? We just have a fucking fatal 4-way tag team match that no one cared to watch. And then Goldberg faces off against Dolph Ziggler, and I'm supposed to care. Come on. You know you guys don't care. You know y'all don't care. And this is the go-home show for SummerSlam. I hope you guys know this. This is supposed to be the party of the summer. Where does it feel like it's SummerSlam at? None of these guys are wearing the t-shirts trying to endorse the show. They're just going to be like, it's WWE Network. Guys, it's super convenient now to see a pay-per-view. There's no prestige. SummerSlam's going to have the same stage as SmackDown or Raw. They don't care about your fucking shows anymore. You see how sad that is? Do you know how sad that is? And it's going to be in Toronto, in Toronto, Canada, where the most passionate wrestling fans are. And we don't give a fuck about a product to try to give a developing storyline other than Trish Stratus is going to wrestle at SummerSlam. Natalya has no storyline other than some shit in Japan. And this hasn't been developing for the last couple months. Thanks, Natalya was coaxing up being friends with fucking Ronda Rousey for the last early months of 2019. So I don't care. The show gets a 3 out of 10. I don't know what y'all were thinking, that I was going to give it a positive because they had a decent opening segment, or that Andrade Cien Almas match with Rey Mysterio was pretty good. Those were good matches, but it didn't develop a storyline. It's not going to get people enticed to watch your product. There's a lot that goes into professional wrestling, and that's giving something. And no, it's also a TV show. It gives some people to get sucked in, and you can't even do that right. I can't barely name moves that happen over the show, other than the Andrade Rey Mysterio match. Other than a few segments in that 24/7 championship segment that I felt was super completely rushed so they can have a title change because they have to have it every week, right? You can't let the pregnant champion be over. Do something for Maria and Michael, even though these guys were signed 2 years ago and feuded with Sami Zayn, and that was it. And these guys were coming from Ring of Honor, and I thought they were pretty good when they were the Kingdom. You do nothing for them, and the 24/7 championship does nothing for the mid card at all, or the Jobbers division. That's it. They're called the Jobbers division. They're not even called a mid card anymore. And then you have Goldberg face off against Dolph Ziggler, trying to teach him a lesson, John, when Dolph Ziggler barely had a character for the last couple of years. So my head's gonna hurt. So this show sucked. I don't care. They're gonna ruin Goldberg because they're gonna ruin the Universal Championship. There was also Brock Lesnar. Oh, there was also a segment involving. I didn't care about this thing. So Seth Rollins got his ass wasted last week on Raw, and this could have happened 2 weeks earlier. But we had the Raw reunion that had no literal credibility. They could have had Rollins get his ass beaten on Raw reunion. They could have stirred up more of a hype, and it did nothing. None of this did nothing. Is this supposed to be an underdog factor that maybe Rollins is gonna come up short come SummerSlam or some dumb shit like that? Because WWE is all about building underdogs and developing no wrestling storyline characters or trying to make anything interesting to watch. So that's literally the show. I want to thank everybody for watching. There's not that much to watch at all. The only things that I find exciting is Trish Stratus versus Charlotte. Things I feel like they're gonna have fun. Maybe Ricochet and AJ Styles. Lesnar and Rollins is gonna have like 2, 3, oh my god moments, and then you're not gonna watch. I'm still gonna watch. I'm just pooped out right now because I've been doing these Raw reviews for the last several months without a hiatus or doing anything. This is like literally exhausting. You think I'm really excited to talk about a show that I cringe watching or like I'm not happy watching it? I'm not happy watching Monday Night Raw. I'm not excited to go late night 8 o'clock to wait to nearly go to sleep at 11 so I can watch Monday Night Raw, man. I want to be excited watching something I like, but this sucks. This show sucked. And the more time y'all just continue to think that WWE is trying to develop characters or trying to get them to the next step, the more that you're digging yourselves a huge ass fucking hole that's not going anywhere, but you're just seeing mud instead of like some gold or silver because you're not seeing much of the big picture around here, aren't you? Thank you for watching. Hopefully Hopefully this video gets more views than the third hour attendance view rate for WWE Monday Night Raw because I don't care about the show. The show sucked. It this had nothing. This had nothing. There's much I can tell you, other than there was a few segments I liked, few parts of the match, because the tag team title match didn't do nothing for me. The tag team that they had with fucking Trish Stratus opening the show like it's going to get many people hyped. There was nothing. There was crickets. And Dolph Ziggler just having a SummerSlam match because of how relevant he's been the last couple of years, even though he held nearly every championship in the business. So that was it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you liked the video or not. I hope I don't care. This maybe I'll be more chipper come SmackDown tonight, but I'm just not happy. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody.